What is up, my butter biscuits? Y'all, within today's video, I thought it would be really fun to talk about my current favorite palettes. I do feel like within the past year, I did a current favorite eyeshadow palette or my like top favorite eyeshadow palette, something like that. However, I wanted to switch it up today and throw in some face palettes. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's literally only two face palettes within today's video, but I do have a bunch of new favorite eyeshadow palettes. So with that being said, I also do want to give you guys another warning going into this video. A lot of these palettes are a little bit more on the like higher price point, and I know here on my channel we love affordability. Y'all know I live for a discount. Pretty much everything that I have here I actually purchased with a discount except for a couple items. Y'all know that I'm always raving about Namies because they give such amazing discounts to makeup professionals, and that's where I always shop because say for example like Huda Beauty, I get 40% off, so I really do enjoy shopping there because y'all know I'm always looking for a deal. I pretty much only ever buy makeup if I get a discount on it, whether it be like an Ulta sale, Sephora sale, or at Namies, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, these are a little bit more on the higher price point. I do apologize for that. I know here on my channel like we like affordability, but recently, y'all, my favorite palettes have been more high-end. I don't know why all of a sudden I feel like these more high-end formulas have just really been working for me, but I will explain why, the reason I like everything within this video. So if you guys are interested in that, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok, y'all. I've been really active over there, and I've been just having, like, fun. I've been doing makeup-related stuff. I've been doing a lot of goofy stuff. Like, I've really been doing a whole bunch of stuff on there, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I could be more like, authentic self on there as to where I am a little bit more put together on here, I would say. Kind of. I mean, let's keep it real. I'm still a little bit trashy. But anyways, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And let's go and get into it. I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video that some of these may be repeats. If you guys had checked out before my like favorite eyeshadow palettes, some of these may be in that video as well as this video. But that's just how you know I really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off with the Pat McGrath Mothership. Okay, I really don't even know like the name of this exact palette right here because honestly, y'all, I'm a little bit dumb when it comes. Oh, here it says right here, Divine Rose. That's why, because it's actually not printed onto the actual palette. It's just a sticker at the bottom. But this is the Divine Rose 2. I always feel like I'm a little bit dumb when it comes to her palettes because there's like no name and they all look the same. But this is what the inside looks like right here. This is actually my favorite shimmer palette. Well, oh, okay, it's a tie between this one and this Pat McGrath palette right here. I absolutely love this one. This is from the 2021 holiday collection. We'll get into that one in just a little bit, but I just want to show you guys this one right here. This palette I want to say was $120 or $125. I forget which one it was, but honestly, y'all, I absolutely love it. For the longest time, if you guys go back on my channel, I wanted to purchase Pat McGrath for the longest period of time, but I'm like, you know what? I just couldn't have it. Like, I didn't have it in me to spend over $120 on an eyeshadow palette, but ever since purchasing this, I do have to say there is no shimmers that I have found in a palette or in a pressed pan that compare to her shimmers. Like, her shimmers are just so out of this world. I know obviously you guys can't see too much right here, but you guys know I've used this palette so many times here on my channel, and I'm gonna keep on using it because y'all, this is really, really expensive. Let's go ahead and jump right on into the holiday one. This is called the Celestial Odyssey. That's why I said, oh, I'm kind of in between that Mothership one right there and then this one as far as my favorite shimmer palettes, because this one just has a whole bunch to offer right here. There is a lot of shades in here. I like this palette so much more than her one from the year before. I forget the name of it, and I actually have it. I just don't know where it's at. It just really hasn't been one of my recent favorite palettes. This one has been. That palette to me, honestly, I know it was more of a bargain as to where like look, compared to her regular ones, because this is so heavy, like literally if you throw it at somebody you can knock somebody out. Her other palette was like really, really cheap. This one is like a good in between, do you know what I mean? The other one from like 2020 felt really, really cheap. This is super, super luxurious, and then this is like in between. This palette right here is super beautiful. I don't know if it was limited edition or not, but I really do recommend it if you guys want to start off with Pat McGrath. These ones do have smaller pans, but there is more shades in here, so I feel like you get to experience her formula for a little bit cheaper price, you know what I'm saying? I do want to say this though. Recently, speaking of like the Mothership palette right here, I have said time and time again in multiple videos, she always has these two shades right here, these two matte shades in pretty much like every single palette, and I have been seeing a lot of people posting on Twitter as well as Reddit that they're just over Pat McGrath and her repetitive colors, and I do have to say I agree myself. Like, I love Pat McGrath, y'all know. I literally look up to her as a makeup artist. I feel like when I first started getting into makeup, like doing behind the scenes type of stuff, I looked up to her so much. I knew who she was years ago. but I feel like recently she's just not really coming through with the creative stuff. I feel like it's just a whole lot of repeated stuff in my personal opinion. So I would like to see something different, but at the same time, maybe I wouldn't, because it's probably best that I don't spend any more money on her eyeshadows because they are just so extremely expensive. But honestly, y'all, they are literally the best shimmer formula. And just to throw a face palette in here, I want to give a shout out to this Moon Prism blush palette, y'all, and another shout out to Renelle Smith. She actually sent me this palette, and honestly, y'all, for the longest time I was literally just wearing bronzer because my cheeks are so red. I literally wear foundation and powder to cover up my redness. So then I was like, why am I gonna go and put blush back on top of it? But she made me fall back in love with blush, y'all, thanks to this Moon Prism palette right here. This to me is just so absolutely gorgeous. When I first saw this online, I was actually thinking it was going to be a little bit ashy, but I do have to say all of these shades are beautiful and they work on such a like wide variety of skin tones. And he did just come out with a second palette. I was contemplating picking that up, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that color story is not really my vibe, you know. Maybe if he has a sale in the future, I may pick it up just to like test it out, but this color story right here I absolutely love. And honestly, I know you're probably looking at it and thinking it looks so like ashy, but really, if you guys try them on the skin, I've tried them on deep skin tones and they are really, really beautiful. I absolutely love this formulation too. For somebody like me, I feel like it's so perfect because you can wear it very, very sheer, but then you can build it up. And for me in person, I like to wear a sheer blush, so I feel like this is good for every day. But then when I'm on camera, for like right now, for example, it probably looks like my blush is not too dramatic, it's like kind of in between, but in person it's severely dramatic because all of these lights in here, I feel like it just washes out my makeup. But that is my only blush palette that I have within this video, but that one right there, if you guys are looking for a blush palette, I really recommend it. His formulation is so bomb. Next up on the list, I want to mention this Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 eyeshadow palette. I know that I recently just did a review about this and I was kind of like about the shimmers. I said within that video, I was like, you know what, I feel like these shimmers are throwing me off because they are really giving me like topper vibes. Do you know what I mean? Like, say for example, you put down a frosty eyeshadow, put this on top if you want some shimmer, you know what I'm saying? And then I actually tried it again as a topper and I love the shimmers. That's why I was saying within that video, I was like, dang, I should have put down an eyeshadow on one and then put this on top. But I was thinking that it actually had enough pigment within the shimmers to like show up shimmery as well as pigmented, you know what I'm saying? Not just shimmer. And this was giving me just shimmer vibes, but I do have to say his formulation of mattes is so bomb. But then also too, the shimmers are really beautiful too, but I really just don't recommend using them by itself. I did like use it by itself and I was kind of like, like, yes, this is beautiful. It's super reflective. They give that wet look. Like, they're really, really shimmery, but then I was like, there's just really no color payoff behind it. Do you know what I mean? Also, I'm going to do another video soon using this shade right here because within my video, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. But I did do another eyeshadow look and I put these two on top and it was absolutely beautiful. Y'all know within that video, if you guys watched it, I was like, his matte formula is really amazing as well too. So I wanted to throw this in there because this is new and I really, really do like it. However, within my video, I was a little thrown off by the shimmers. I was expecting a little bit more color payoff as far as like actual pigmentation, not just shimmer. And honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like they were giving me just like a topper vibe, which is nothing wrong with that. I was just expecting more color, but that palette is really, really beautiful. But y'all, that is $68. So that's another palette right there that I would recommend holding off until like there's a sale again or Patrick Ta has a sale, because y'all, $68 is pretty hefty, but the palette is super beautiful. And the color story too, if you guys are makeup artists, I feel like that is the perfect color story for brides, y'all, and bridesmaids. I feel like it is just so beautiful. And to throw a little bit of color up in here, y'all, I mentioned this palette before actually in my previous like favorite eyeshadow palettes. This right here is the tie-dye from Hank and Henry. I absolutely love this palette. I've said it before, like, I feel like there is every color in the rainbow in here, but the reason why I love it so much, sorry if you guys had seen my other video, I'm probably repeating myself, but I love that there is a dark and a lighter shade for every single color in here. Say for example with the greens, you have a lighter green and a darker green, you have a lighter red and a darker red, you have a lighter blue and a darker blue. It is so easy to blend with this and so easy to work with this because you have the darker shade and then you have the lighter shade. And this palette right here is just absolutely beautiful. I don't know why, for some reason, I'm just keeping it real. Like, I feel like his other palettes that I've tried before, I just kind of felt like they weren't horrible, don't get me wrong, but they just weren't as good as this, you know. This one to me, I felt like works so amazing. And if you guys are looking for a colorful palette, I would definitely recommend this. This one right here is another repeat. Oh my gosh, I use this palette so much. I think that'll start changing a little bit more, which I'll get into at the end of this video, but I absolutely love this. This one right here is called the Neutral Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This is by Viseart. Y'all, the packaging of this is just so completely horrible. Like, it is just so cheap. You guys can see right here, it is so, like, scratched up. I want to give a huge shout out to Renelle Smith. She actually sent me this palette as well, too. Viseart's matte formula is so absolutely amazing, but the price point, I don't know the price point of this exactly. I'll put it right up here on the screen, but I know they're super expensive. That's why I didn't purchase it for the longest period of time, but I do have to say, they are so bomb, like super like easy to blend, super pigmented, like crazy pigmented. But I just have to say, for them being so expensive, like this is like the cheapest packaging you could possibly get, y'all. Like, it's like low-key like 99-cent store packaging. I know to so many people out there, they really don't care about the packaging, but I do. Like, honestly, I want things to look nice. I want them to feel nice. Like, I want it to feel luxurious. You get what I'm saying? And I know so many people are like, oh, who cares about that? And then also another thing that I want to say too, I know that Viseart is probably like, you know, created for professionals, but another thing I don't like about this is there's literally no names on these shadows. And I have to say about this, because I've made a comment before about Pat McGrath, and people are like, oh my god, who cares? Shut up, stop complaining about it. And I'm like, y'all, I do YouTube videos. Like, when people are like, oh my god, what shade's in your crease? What am I supposed to say? Like, the third one in the top row of the Viseart palette. It's like, oh my gosh, it's difficult. So if they had a name, it would be a little bit easy to say it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know what I mean? But it's obviously a little bit more difficult when it's just like this. But the formulation of this is just so absolutely beautiful, and this is actually one of my go-to palettes because of the shades in here. You guys can see it's as neutral as it gets, and I feel like there is every neutral up in there, and then you have a little pop of warm tone right here. You know what I'm saying? This palette is beautiful, but I'm sure it's overpriced, but it's really bomb. And this is my last current face palette. I'm sure you guys know this was already going to be on the list. I absolutely love this palette. These powders are so beautiful. Sorry, I'm like sorry, I'm like blinding you guys right here. The powders are so absolutely amazing. They're so buildable. On top of that too, I feel like they are so blurring, and the highlights, y'all, are literally my vibe. Right now I'm actually wearing a real highlight. I don't know if you guys can tell, but normally in every single video I will be wearing the pink shade right here. I absolutely love it because it does give that like glow from within, you know what I'm saying? But this palette right here is just so beautiful, and I feel like it works on so many different skin tones. And on top of it, y'all, I really, really like this because coming towards summer, right now my favorite shade is Bronze Sky, but then I'll go into Tan Sky. You know what I mean? I'll probably mix them too. So I feel like it's just so convenient. And if you guys are looking for a face palette to highlight and contour with, or like even bronze with, that's another thing I forgot to mention about this palette, is the shades are so universal. I feel like you can contour with it, but then also bronze with it, because they're not too orange and they're not too cool. They're like a perfect in-between. I highly, highly recommend this palette, especially the highlights. If you guys don't like a over-the-top crazy highlight, which you guys know, I feel like the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't really like too much of a crazy highlight. This is probably like as crazy as I'll get with my highlight, to be quite honest with you. These are like my go-to. This palette is just so absolutely beautiful, and I do think it is pretty affordable too. I want to say it's like $45, which I feel like is pretty fair for all the shades that you get in here. So if you guys are looking for a face palette, I highly recommend this. All right, y'all, and I wanted to save my absolute favorite two for last, the Beautopsy and the Monochromance, y'all. These palettes right here, honestly, I know this is gonna sound so dramatic and so cheesy, but they really changed my life. I absolutely love them. I'm wearing the Beautopsy right now. Like, do you guys see that? Like, honestly, y'all, I'm pretty confident within my skills, but I just feel like this is the best my eyeshadow has ever looked. I feel like it is just so buttery, so blended, and y'all, it is so easy to work with these. Let me go ahead and show you guys right here the Monochromance in case you guys have not seen it. I feel like the way he has this set up is so beautiful. Not only is the color story absolutely amazing, but the whole ombre effect makes it so easy to use. You know what I'm saying? I told you guys within the video, just in case you guys didn't see, what I really, really love about this is, say for example, you guys are going to be blending out a look. You guys can go in right in the center with the brush, and then you're going to have a little bit more of the darker pigment and then a little bit more of the lighter pigment, and then it just blends out so easy. But say for example, if you just want some of the light side, just go to the light side. If you want some of the dark side, just go to the dark side. These formulas are just, when I tell you they're the best matte formulas I have ever worked with in my life, I literally mean it. Y'all know I love the Viseart Mattes, absolutely love them, but these are top one, like literally number one. They are so absolutely amazing. And on top of that too, I feel like for the face, oh my gosh, recently this shade right here, Heavy, every single video that you guys have seen me in recently, I've been wearing this shade Heavy as my blush. I absolutely love it. You can use these on the face as well as the eyes, and on top of that too, there is absolutely no kickback and there is no fallout. They are just so absolutely amazing to work with. I do have to say though that it's difficult for me to like pick which one, but like say for example, if you guys were asking me, well, which one should I get? I probably would lean more towards the Beautopsy, and the reason for that is I actually contoured with this palette within my video. I'll go ahead and leave it linked so that way you guys can check it out if you want to. I actually contoured with it. I used the blush within it, and then I did, you know, the eye look with it. So I feel like this one is a little bit more versatile that you can use throughout the face because you can contour with it, blush with it, as well as do your eyes with it. It's just so versatile. These palettes are $70 and I did not get a discount on them. Actually the monochromance my friend Rosa bought for me, and I'm kind of disappointed within her for getting me this because honestly y'all, she knows how I am. She knows I don't buy eyeshadow palettes without a discount, but I went out and bought the Beautopsy because of this palette right here. It is just, you guys, if you guys have this palette, let me know how you like it. Like, honestly, I am just so shook by this formula. Like I said, there is no kickback, no fallout. They are so easy to blend. Like, it's just so crazy to me how well these work. I don't know if you guys can tell by my eyes, but just look how easy they blend. Like, everything just flows together. This look right here, actually, that I created was inspired by one of his pictures that he had came out with, or one of his campaign pictures that he had came out with for the Beautopsy palette. And I absolutely love the way it came out. Anyways, y'all, that is it for my current favorite palettes. There was only, what, like 2 or 3 repeats in here. I do have a bunch of new ones, so I hope you guys like this. If you guys have any other favorite palettes that I should check out, make sure you guys let me know, whether it be a face palette, a blush palette, contour palette. I do have to say, though, when it comes down to the Lunar Beauty, I feel like it's going to be hard for me to find something that compares to that, because everything that I've tried before is a little bit too warm or a little bit too cool, and Manny's formula is, or shades are just like in between, which is so perfect for me. But if I had to tell you guys to try one thing from this video, it would be the Hin Dash palettes. I am just blown away by these palettes. I absolutely love them so much. The only negative thing I have to say about them is the packaging is like super cheap. Like, it feels like a paperback book, but the formula, y'all, is just so amazing. Anyways, y'all, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.